Hello everyone, I'm Alex.
I'm Andy.
And for our first joint review, where we both review the same game, we are going to review what may be the greatest SpongeBob, nay, the greatest licensed game of all time, the Patrick Star game. Yes.
The PS5. I don't know. I'm assuming it's also on other platform. On
It
every
is.
platform imaginable.
Switch can just barely handle it. It's high fidelity graphics. Let's get right into this review with some background knowledge. Most of us know SpongeBob. Andy, are you so old you don't even know who SpongeBob is? Is this
No,
possible?
I am so old. I remember when SpongeBob debuted on TV. I remember the phenomenon, and I bought into it, and I love SpongeBob. Though I don't think I've seen anything past season 4.
You probably don't need to. It's not much good after that. Obviously, SpongeBob also has a long storied history of licensed games. Have you played any of those?
Battle for Bikini Bottom.
That's a big one.
Maybe.
I've also played the movie game, which is a very similar follow-up to that game. I think it's a little better. It's more linear. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Patrick Star game in an effort to kind of stomp on Steven Hillenburg's grave a little bit. Nickelodeon's been making a ton of spin-offs of SpongeBob after he sadly passed. One of those being the Patrick Star Show. With that added focus on Patrick, it was only a matter of time until he got a video game all to himself. SpongeBob's been on a little bit of a burner recently with the remake of Battle for Bikini Bottom and the Cosmic Shake, which are both really well received. And I haven't looked at reviews of the Patrick Star game, but I assume they're pretty decent. I think it's a lot of fun. Join our Patreon if you want to see me do an additional review of another SpongeBob game, Spongebob Squarepants Super Sponge. The long-awaited review will be out soon. Andy and I do a ton there. Make sure to like and subscribe. It's highly appreciated. What are your initial thoughts?
It's like the Elden Ring of licensed cartoon games.
It is a lot like Elden Ring in a lot of ways. It's very hard, very unforgiving. You really gotta master the movements.
What was your impetus for wanting to do this as our first joint review?
I think one is just it's a new game that came out in the last month or so. So I think that'll be good for views. But also I just was genuinely surprised by how much I've liked this game so far. It's not groundbreaking or anything, obviously, but after a long day of baristaing or whatever, it's nice to turn on this game and just kind of fool around in Bikini Bottom.
I was kind of surprised that I was immediately playing the game pretty much as soon as the game loaded, which I thought was refreshing because I hate waiting 40 minutes going through cinematic tutorials and whatnot to get to the actual gameplay. So yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, I guess my first reaction was, wow, this is I was gonna say GTA, but honestly it felt more not Simpsons Hit and Run, but Simpsons Road Rage in a lot of ways. I mean, it's not like a Crazy Taxi clone by any means, but I got into the boating early on, so I was driving around. It's tons of little mini games all packed into this little weird overworld or sandbox. I think it's definitely a little sandbox game. The moveset, Patrick's moveset is pretty funny.
The rolling is
very satisfying. Falling asleep and then just rolling around everywhere is pretty funny. I was kind of shocked at how much I enjoyed some of the activities, I think they call them.
Yeah.
Specifically the the flying ones, actually.
Oh yeah, with Sandy.
Yeah.
No, those are sick.
Yeah. I was I haven't had this much fun trying to hit a target on the ground since Pilot Wings on the SNES.
Yeah, I have at least 10 minutes of footage that will be in this video of me skydiving and trying to do a cool little flip thing into
I didn't even try that.
I got a lot out of that.
The physics in the game is really cool because there are these things the swing set. When you first get on the swing set at the beginning, you start swinging and you realize you have kind of infinite momentum if you keep going. And you're I wonder if I can go all the way around in a circle, and you can, and then you unlock an achievement. I feel I was unlocking so many achievements just by doing random stuff, and the game obviously kind of encourages that. So yeah.
Compared to a different sandbox game like Goat Sim, which I haven't played a ton of, but I've seen a lot of gameplay footage of, I'd say this game, it doesn't obviously go as far in its how much mayhem you can cause, because it's a kid's show and they don't want to show Patrick doing unspeakable things in Bikini Bottom. But you can get it can get decently extreme. Not extreme, but you can blow people away with a wind blower, hit them with a giant hammer.
Oh, I pushed them totally off of a cliff.
Yeah.
I was there's no way. But you're in water. It's not he's falling. He's just floating down to a lower depth.
Yeah, no, it's a very slapstick world, so I think they get away with it. It's not super violent. You are kind of throwing people around. I think because it isn't as open of a sandbox of a game like Goat Sim, it is really good that there are all those mini games and stories to play. There's something kind of Power Washing Simulator, where Sandy's asking you to clean off buildings. SpongeBob is pretty much in every area, and it'll always each area has its own collectible that SpongeBob, I think Plankton gives you the mission once.
I really like the restaurant mini games too. Those did kind of remind me of like extensions of some of the mobile games I've played, but Plankton is probably my favorite character from the SpongeBob universe. Getting to work in the chum bucket was pretty awesome.
It was a dream come true.
It was a dream come true. I felt like the mechanics were fairly intuitive in terms of, you know, how you can hold things in two hands and then combine things.
Yeah.
It felt a lot like Breath of the Wild.
This game is
a lot of ways.
Like
I remember there's like a mountain you can kind of climb, and I was like, I wonder if I'm looking over there. I'm like, I wonder if I can climb that. And yeah, you can climb it.
Yeah, no, the platforming's pretty satisfying in this game. It's a little like buggy sometimes. I think that's kind of the point though. Like Patrick will weirdly kind of hover sometimes.
Yeah, there's some weird buggy stuff, like having like holding objects and activities and then holding on to them beyond that and then dropping them and then them just being there. And like sometimes I didn't have the right parachute for the right thing and whatnot.
I think going into this game, my main concern was just it would feel too much like just a kid's minigame collection where, you know, you're kind of pointed where to go and what to do. The minigames are like overly simple. And obviously this game isn't like hard by any means, but there is some like problem solving. Like I remember in Jellyfish Field specifically, SpongeBob wants you to collect a bunch of jellyfish, and each different like species has a different way of moving. Like the blue ones kind of shoot water out and it's like you're pushing with a hose. Some of them are more straightforward, like they just kind of fly and you control them. And I don't know, there's just a lot of very cool ways of moving throughout this game. Obviously, we also mentioned like the flying bits. I think those are super fun. There's like a parachute and an umbrella and a glider. I got a lot of mileage out of that glider.
Yeah, the glider was cool. That was what I did first, and I did hit the 750 point moving target at least one time.
Nice. Yeah, I sucked at the gliding game. I don't know, I probably did the best with like SpongeBob's coconut gun stuff.
Where I hated the coconut gun. I don't think I was doing it right. Also hate I didn't like SpongeBob in this game. I didn't want to do anything he asked me to do. I was like, and then in fact he kept showing up in every area. I was like,
he's your best friend.
No, sorry, SpongeBob.
It's Plankton. I'd say visually, this game is pretty appealing. It's what you'd expect. Obviously, I played it on PS5, so it's better than the plebeians that played on the Nintendo Switch. Don't disgrace this game with 30 FPS. I'm kidding. I don't care. You can play it on the Switch. It probably makes sense, especially if you're a kid or you have a kid, to play it there.
It installed faster than any game I've yet to play on my PS5. So
yeah, no, it was pretty quick.
Like my daughter is not into video games and does not want to play very many things, but she really got into Astrobot, and I kind of want to show her this game because I do think it has kind of that like kind of low consequence type entry point for what I think kids like these days.
It encourages you to explore in a really effective way, especially with like, you know, each set of mini games or like set of missions you get from people come with their own like little unique weapon or item you just get to use, and you can use that all throughout. There are mayo jars strewn about in just random places that are not linked to a mission, but you still want to collect those, so it encourages, you know, even just without being in a mission, exploring. It really strikes a good balance of being like simple enough for the kids that this was intended for, to be able to like understand what they're doing and not get stuck and not get frustrated, but also it's not like so mindless and so handholdy that no one else can get anything out of it.
Totally. All right, complete this sentence. The Patrick Star game is better than
the Patrick
insert historic platformer.
Okay, you want me to hate? I mean, I do like it more than Super Mario Bros. If that's what you're asking.
Wow, the new Super Mario Bros.
If you mean new as in literally new Super Mario Bros. The series, yes, definitely.
Wow.
If you mean it as in like Super Mario Wonder, maybe not. Although in about the week I've owned this game, I've already played it much more than I played Wonder, so it did hold my attention.
I was gonna say the Patrick Star game is better than Mario Sunshine.
Okay, I haven't played Sunshine, but I know it's controversial.
It is controversial.
Is there any other final thoughts? Anything you want to say to Patrick Star before we give him a rating?
Bill Fagerbakke, is that how you say his
something
name?
like that? Yeah, he's a hard to pronounce last name. I've seen him in like interviews with Tom Kenny and stuff, and they are exactly
I
the
can
same.
Never see Patrick Star without seeing Bill Fagerbakke in my head.
They've kind of grown into each other.
That's true. Yeah. They really, that was the perfect casting choice for that character.
And I feel like honestly, modern day SpongeBob, like you were saying, is kind of annoying. Like he's so childish and like
he kind of did the Homer Simpson route. I think like he started off like as a plausible character, and then he just devolved into complete and utter
just
chaos
like
and nonsense.
A baby that works at McDonald's. And you know, that's obviously kind of happened to Patrick's character too, but I think it's just less abrasive because he's like a silly dumb guy, and that's fun. But all right, what's your rating out of 10?
I'm gonna have to go with a 6.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a 7.5. Yeah, obviously, like I said, this game is genuinely really fun. If you are looking for something to just kind of not think too much and play and explore, I think this is a great game for that. It's not groundbreaking. So the official Materia Machina
calculated in real time
calculated gamer score for the Patrick Star game is 6.75 out of 10. I think it's a little better than that. Andy thinks it's a little worse, but I do think you know, regardless of your age. As long as you like SpongeBob and you like having a little bit of fun, there's something for everyone in this game.
Yeah, no, I was surprised. I mean, I knew you wouldn't have recommended it if it hadn't have been like a good time on some level.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was a complete blowover.
I was excited. Maybe another way for me to rank it would be as like an adult who thinks about nothing but money all the time and how it leaves me. I would not pay $59.99 for this game.
I think I got it at like 40. I'm sure it'll go down more. You know, wait till it's like $20 or something.
It was like 19.99 game. For sure,
I'm sure it will get there, like most SpongeBob games. I paid a premium because I wanted to be the first.
Or on Switch, like 85% off. It's $7.49, and I have enough Nintendo points to redeem it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm sure that will happen. So thank you guys for watching. Let us know if you've played this game. What do you think of it? Do you agree with their score? What would you like to see us review next? And for the Patreon only segment, Andy, since I chose this game, how about you present a game to me?
I present a game to you.